Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or much good depending on your location. Please join in the struggle to liberate our people from the contraption. Like and share videos, news updates. Nigeria is collapsing because it failed to manage its diversity. That's according to Emeka Nyoko. Oh yes, the former Secretary General of the Commonwealth of Nations, Chief Emeka Anyoko, has waded into the situation confronting Nigerians. Oh yes, he said, look, Nigerians, they are facing a difficult situation. Oh yes, said the country's threatened towards eventual collapse. Yes, because they failed to manage their diversity. That's according to Emeka Nyoko. Oh yes, said Nigeria is a pluralistic country. He said it's a country of groups of people with diverse cultures, languages, and religions, who had lived in their separate geographical areas for generations. Oh yes, said before the advent, yes, of the colonialists who amalgamated Nigeria, who amalgamated these diverse people, these diverse ethnic nationalities into one entity called Nigeria. That's what Chief Emeka Nyoko is saying. Oh yes, so the country, they are facing challenge of how to manage this diversity. This man-made amalgamation, he's called it. He said it's a man-made amalgamation by the colonialists. Oh yes, that's Emeka Nyoko saying. Oh yes, he said, look, Nigerians are passing through the crucible. They are going to the post-crucible. They are suffering. Yes, severe hardship. Oh yes, say they fail to manage their diversity and they are not managing it at all, and the country is collapsing. Yes, that's what Emeka Nyoko is saying. Oh yes, the former Secretary General of the Commonwealth of Nations. Now look at his statement he made. Let me quote him directly. Quote, first, our country Nigeria is a pluralistic country. That is a country of groups of people with diverse cultures, languages, and religions, who have lived in their separate geographical areas for generations before their man-made amalgamation into one political entity called Nigeria. The country from its inception has therefore faced the challenge of how to manage its diversity. The second incontestable fact is that, as of today, the Nigerian project under its present constitution is clearly not working. As recently summed up by Ruben Abati in his This Day article of 4 June 2024, Nigerians are today assailed by high cost of living, crude oil theft, food inflation, insecurity, corruption, divestments by multinational oil corporations, the flight of capital to other countries, the unabating spread of a culture of hate in the country, poor governance, and bad politics. The high hopes for the future that prevail among the citizens, especially the youths in the immediate years after independence, are no longer there. In those years, Nigerians traveled abroad mainly in search of education and improvement of skills. But now, many Nigerian youths and professionals seek opportunities to go abroad to pursue self-fulfillment. The increasingly popular word Japa did not exist in those halcyon days. I dare say that unless a bold and courageous remedial action is taken now to give the country a new constitution, the Nigerian project will continue to totter towards an eventual collapse. End of quote. That's Emeka Nyoko saying, look, said these words they call Japa. People are traveling every day, leaving the shores of the country to see greener pastures in other climes. Say, look, say in their own days when they were youths, say this thing wasn't happening. Well, yes, how they believed that Nigeria would get better. They believed in their country. Say, but now, so nobody believed in this contraption. People are traveling every day, go to embassies. So they rush to leave. People are, asking for asylum. Asylum. They go, they tell other countries that there's problem in their country, and they seek for asylum. outside Nigeria, and that is it. People are suffering. What do you expect them to do? To die in this, contraption? No, people are moving out in their large numbers. Yes, to seek for a better life, and that is it. Because the contraption, like you said, is collapsing on daily basis. So you want this to collapse on their head? Nowhere. Those who have the opportunity to live, they can live. Yes, that's what they are doing. So that the country will not collapse on their head. That's the point. Oh yes, so he's talking about this Japa. People are living every day to seek opportunities abroad, to pursue self-fulfillment. That's what he said. So he talked about the Nigerian independence. Oh yes, so they have the high hopes during the independence period, but now those hopes has faded away. Yes, no hope again for the youth. So what do you expect? Yes. So he's talking about the sufferings of Nigerians, talks about the high inflation, he talks about insecurity, talks about the hatred in the country. He said Nigerians hate each other. That's the very worrisome aspect of this. And that's why people have to think, of how to stay on their own. Because nobody loves each other. There's no love again amongst the populace, among the countrymen. Oh yes, that's why people have to talk about how to stay on their own. Emeka Anyoko said it. Chief Emeka Anyoko said it. It's a hatred amongst Nigerians. It's their hatred. They hate each other. That's what he's saying. You heard him say it. Hatred, hatred. You hate each other. Yes. So with this hatred, how are you going to make any headway? Nowhere. Nowhere. You hated yourself. You hated each other. So call a spade by its name. Okay? Oil and water cannot mix together. That's what it means. Oil and water cannot mix. They cannot mix. That's the hatred you are seeing. That's the hatred. It will not stop. It's generational hatred. They hated each other. They should stop pretending. This so-called political diabolism. They are looting money. That's why they are forcing people to stay together. That's why they are touting this unity. Everyday unity. What are you preaching? Preaching unity. If you are united, we will know. Stop preaching. Because you know that there's no unity. That's why you're preaching every day. Unity, unity. What are you unifying? Unity in diversity. What is there? What are you talking about? People are not recognizing it. Nobody's obeying it. Nobody's uniting anything. They are just there in Abuja forcing people. They are governors. They are political ministers, those who are looting money, politicians, businessmen who are looting from the government coffers. So yes, they want the country to continue. They want people to be in this, suffering forever and ever. So they continue to loot money, man, for the people. That's what's happening. They know that this hatred is innate. And with this hatred, no headway. But the politicians, the political diabolists, they are forcing people to stay together, to be looting money meant for the people, to be, advancing their own cause. Yes, living large abroad. They travel abroad. They just take here as their farmland. They come to their farmland after farming for a season. They go to their homes in the international community abroad, where they have packed money, stuffed money, stash money. They will be enjoying with their family, friends, associates, and their allies. So it's a third entity. Emeka Anyoko, chief, is corroborating it. Say, look,